Behind me here sits a 1986 Chevrolet S10. It hasn't run in 16 years, of course. It used to belong to a subscriber. He emailed me and said, "Hey Derek, I got a truck you might be interested in." And to be honest with you, I wasn't at first because the guy's just, I got too much going on. Then he offered a low price of free, and I had my boots laced up tighter than an ice skater in about 0.3 seconds. In fact, I got here so fast, I'm really unprepared. I don't have any tools or nothing besides the old Leatherman. I did bring the trailer though, so I think we're just gonna scoot her onto the trailer, get her down to the shop, and then we'll see if we can get it running and driving again. Truck had been sitting back here. The feller was nice enough to drag her forward for me. He was checking for bees, and well, he did find some. We've got a a minor bee problem going on right now with this vehicle. She's got a little bit of weight reduction, not bad. Nothing too good back here. Whoop, tailpipage, we can maybe use that. Looks like the bumper fell off. You don't need both. Front one's handy. We'll maybe figure that out. See what we got going on in here. See if we got any bees. Nothing yet. Oh, it's a little rough. Smells like wet peanuts and an old deck of playing cards. It's not pleasant, to be honest. Just a skosh of a mice problem, maybe. Seem to be eating up some stuff. I don't know if I can get that forward. Ooh, a couple floor mats. That's neat. Quart of oil. Got an extra belt. And there's no rust right there. That's nice. She's a stick-o-matic. Looks like a 4-speed. Radial's gone. I'm gonna let this air out a little bit because, I mean, it's thicker than Shakira's thighs in there. Yeah. They got a good corn crop going. True story. I've been using this little ATV winch, not made for moving cars. But I've pulled probably 30 vehicles with it, and it's done just fine. But this one, we've only got air in one tire. And the rest are just, this isn't in our favor, is what I'm saying, I guess. But we're gonna give her a go. I might even have to back up even closer so we don't have to drag it across. In fact, I think I'm just gonna go on ahead and do that. Let's let the old winch cool down a little bit. I think this wheel's locked up. I know she ain't got no tire on it, but it should kind of be trying to roll. So I'm going to try to find something just to tickle that a little bit, see if we can knock her loose. That'll work. Well, got a couple speed holes, a little bit of Bondo, that's fine. This all improves your miles per gallon, which is what we're after here. This all looks fine. I'm not really seeing anything bad. Got some wiring hanging. You don't need any of that stuff. A little loosey-goosey. Muffler tape will bring that around. We got one good hubcap left. Dang it, shouldn't have broke the other one. This is airing out a little bit. What she got on it? 200,000. I believe this has a 2.5 Iron Duke, which is known for its reliability, and them are hard to blow up. You get 500,000 out of them, just basic maintenance. So this truck's got a lot of life left. It just needs some buffing and maybe a tire. We'll finish getting her strapped down and quick get her to the shop. We'll start tearing into this thing. Well, now that we got her over to the shop, had the boys go on a hunt. We think we found a spare. Of course, I got GM wheels just everywhere. Pop this wheel off. See if we could break her loose. I'll go get the big Tanya Hardin. We'll just, you know, tickle on it a little bit. If not, then we'll throw the other wheel on. At least it'll skid better. And then we might just have to just drag it off with the GT500. Not sure, but we'll pull Independence out and get this truck snuck in there. And did you lose one?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, here.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks. Yep. Oh, that looks great. Well, I think there's zero question she's been laid up for 16 years out in the grass and dirt there. Surprisingly, there's a little bit of frame left. Have to wait to see the rest of it, but I'm just going to take that hammer and beat around the perimeter here. And then I'll bring the gas axe, maybe hit her with some heat. But we'll see if we can get, I'm sure the shoes are just locked up in there. Seen this about 1,000 times. We might have some other issue. Well, there we go. Yeah, it looks not good. Perfect. Well, it's, you know, there's some life left on the shoes, but overall this needs rebuilt. So while we got her up here, I'm going to go ahead and just fix the brakes. I got some brake rejuvenation spray here, and this just brings them right back around to new. And then we'll just throw this drum back on and call her good. Yeah, getting there a little bit. What about this thing? Oh, yeah. That looks fine. Just get this in there. Sometimes you gotta just rub it in. Yeah, that's good. This drum is pretty well shot, but I'm definitely not buying a new one until I know the rig runs. For now, I'm gonna take some 80 grit sandpaper, just then take the cheek poker adapter in the old Drill-matic here, clean it up, and then we'll just throw it back on. Drum is turned vice grip style. You can come in here with your cheek pokers. There was a bunch of sticky varnish and goop on these shoes, and that'll take them right off and just bring them back around. Those look brand new. Throw this back on now and get this thing rolling. True story, this tire came out of the trunk of the '69 Chevy called Rocky, and it still holds there. Go ahead, bud. Yeah, get her in there. This tire's not going to hold air either. The old valve stem is just shot on her. But I do have a mud flap, so they cancel each other out. This tire's off Independence, still holding air. So we'll throw that in there. It'll barely fit. That's fine. Just going to pretend we didn't see any of this and just throw the tire on. She's looking pretty good. Just about ready for that there SEMA show where they put the fancy rigs. Honestly though, those kind of look halfway decent on the truck. I don't know. What kind of wheels do you think this thing needs? Probably not the white wall. Maybe white leather. with those. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like 50 bucks on Jags or something like that. By the way, she's been painted on. Looks like tan was the original color. And we got some sort of matte coat paint or something. It's not even a, there's not even a primer under that. They just, I guess I could ask the feller, what's under this thing? Oh, no, a 1/4 inch of Bondo. That's fine. Ready, bud?
Yeah.
1 horsepower, engaged. All right, start turning right. Land ho! Watch out, son. There. Good enough. This is slightly inconvenient up here. Got 15-20 dudes just hanging out, so gonna have to perform another wasp delete up here. Think I got, oh yeah, they're just falling out of there like crazy. Look at that. How many, oh, there was another nest over here. Yeah, well, happens. Sorry I burnt your house, dudes. Complete. Anyway, oh, she's still roasting hot. These Iron Dukes were pretty amazing little engines. They even made their way into rear-engine sports cars, like the Pontiac Fiera. They put out about 69 kilowatts of power. Can you believe that? Or 92 horsepower, or 417 wooden nickels. Whatever you measure in. First glance, she's got a never start battery. Looks complete, but I don't even know if it turns over. Of course, it didn't ask. So we're going to start there. I think I'm going to get the front end up, come in from underneath, and get on the old crank snout. Guy's got a breaker bar hooked on the crankalizer down there. I'm going to scoot underneath and see if I could help ya. I'm going to bring you in. You guys can watch the belt in here. If all goes well, it'll turn and you'll see it. You guys can let me know. Here we go. It doesn't feel nor sound good. But it's turning. Well, she's rotating. That's good. Kind of hard to explain unless you've been here and done this, but as I was bringing her around, you could definitely feel the ridges from the rings where the pistons were sitting in the cylinders. But we'll bring them right back around. We'll just rev on it if we get her running, just right away. And that'll clean them up. You want to go get that new battery? We'll throw a battery in her. See if the key will... That would be nice. And we'll just keep on going. Now that we know she rotates, we kind of look on her a little bit closer. This is empty. This opens, but she sticks. That's plenty fine. She's just ready to go. Oil. There's a little bit of oil in it. I don't see any water. That's good. Lightning hoses, they've just been completely eaten up by mice. Hopefully 1 or 2 is good. We can at least hear it make some fire. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna need a vice grip to get that off. But everything, I mean, it's complete. Everything's here. I don't see, well, I guess I don't know what that thing does. Something got clamped off. or just rotten hoses. Anyway, everything is pretty much here. Can't get that off either, goodness. This here unit's a die-hard. It was a pretty decent movie, so I figured the battery ought to be pretty decent. I got this at CarQuest. CarQuest! Complete the quest! I don't think that's right, but it'll work. Yep! Yeah! Oh. That'll work. I like to do the fire test when you get your lightning cubes in here. Sometimes you get a short or some wires crossed. It just smells like mouse droppings and Wheaties, basically. I think we're safe. Let's see if it cranks. Should make sure this oil is good enough to crank on, just in case. Oh, plenty of viscosity in her. Don't taste any gas or water. Should be ready to rip. Really slow. Hindsight being 17-14, maybe I should have got a bigger battery than the cheapest one on sale. Dang it. Do we even have a charger left around here?
I don't think so.
Oh no. Well, we got some good news out of the old girl. She cranks by the key, that's good. I mean, some of the electro-digitals are doing what they're supposed to. I think I also heard the fuel pump relay click, and I think the fuel pump fire. That's 92.7% of the battle, so we're winning. I might just shut it down here. No, I changed my mind. We'll keep going. Next, we're gonna test the injectors. I'll show you a simple way to do that for about $1. And then we gotta test the old sparkulators, see if the lightning hoses are doing anything. Then we're going to pour some fuel in this, so I don't want to keep cycling the key. Tank is empty. I do have a few gallons of bad gas we'll throw in this thing and just lubricate up those chops. And then we're on to just seeing if this thing actually fires. But these were just stuck on here. Well, how many threads does this thing have? Reminds me of an algebra book. It just doesn't end. There we go. Came out the wrong side, but I don't care. Oh, this looks fine. We'll reuse that for sure. We got nestage in here. Oh, don't breathe that in, son. Wow, I think this was the restroom, if I'm not mistaken by the smell of it. Goodness gracious. I shouldn't have cranked it as long as I did. I made a mistake. There's some junk down in here. Hopefully I didn't suck too much down in there. But this thing is full. Air filter's full. Should have popped this off first and cleaned all this up before I started monkeying with the old throttlage. But to be completely honest, I did not expect it to just be like, well, that. So we'll clean this up with the old vacuum. I'm going to hit this with air. And then I'll come in with the brake rejuvenation spray and just soak this down, wipe it out a little bit. And then I'm going to show you a way to test this injector and make sure that's firing off. Can't find my air nozzulator. Where can it be now? When a guy's blowing mouse feces around, you want to make sure you always use PPE. You don't want this in your mouth or eyes. Son, look out.
It's like halfway full, but it doesn't spray this one's gone.
Oh, 2 cans down. Well, go get another one off the shelf. This little girl here is a TBI, which is just short for terribly bad injection. We could test it by taking the connector off. Just grab a brand new 9-volt battery, and if you just tap this on the posts, just a tap, you should hear that solenoid in there click. Now don't hold it on the solenoid, you'll burn her right out. But if you just rock it back and forth, you should hear that thing clicking away in there. And that's how you can tell the injector work. Doesn't necessarily mean your injector spray is going to be good, but you're off to a good start getting fuel that way. I can very faintly hear it. Well, everything's fine. We've got a really questionable injector. I think next, let's throw some bad gas in this thing, see if we can build some fuel pressure. And if we can get fuel pressure out the terribly bad injector body, we should be able to actually spray a little bit of fuel using the old pocket battery here. That'll give us a definite answer. It's been dried out for 16 years, so it might take a while to just come back around. We got Spider Nest 9000 in here. Got a big one up in the corner, a couple back in here, another one over here. They don't bother me none. You just got to watch out for the Black Widow and the Brown Lacrosse in these areas. Otherwise, you just eliminate. If you guys got stuff you got to be careful for when you're digging through old treasures like snakes or, I don't know, maybe you got possums or raccoons. Comment down below what you guys are on the lookout for. Maybe even what you're afraid of when you're digging through these things. Yep. Oh, this has got a real brown tinge to it. That just means more iron and vitamins. It'll eat. I got about 3 gallons in it and 2 on the floor. That's all I got. I'm going to leave the gas lid off. That way the fuel pump is more pronounced. You can actually hear it louder through the Phillips spout there. I'm going to rotate the key a couple times, and I'm hoping to hear the fuel pump change tones, and that means it's building pressure. All right, shh, listen. Nothing there. Nothing there. It's definitely running though. Wow. How come I can't turn the key now? I just never seen such. What is going on? We're locked out. There we go. Nothing. Well, that's not going very hot. Could be that it already built pressure. Unlikely, very. So I'm going to come over here to the Tibby, and I'm just going to crack a line. You can always tell the inlet because it's going to be the bigger of the two. So this is the inlet. These want about 12, 13 psi. If it gets more, it sends the rest back to the tank. So I'm going to crack on this line back here. I'll have Bentley turn the key, and hopefully fuel just goes. I got the fuel line cracked, and I immediately got the old deck stain smell. All right, Bentley, go ahead. All right, turn it off. We got fuel up here. That's great news. Let's bleed it. One more time, go ahead. Ooh, that's some nasty looking stuff. Let's go, wait, hold on. I got an idea. Well, okay. Well, whatever. I just slid this line over here, 3/8 fuel. Got to run down to the old windshield washer jug. We cycled it a couple times. You can see that nasty fuel that's coming out. I just wanted to clean the lines out. Go ahead, Bentley. It's looking a little better. Okay, off and back on. All right. That's, at least gives it a fighting chance. We'll plug this back in and see if we can juice this thing up. Whoa! Well, that hasn't happened to me in a long time. I was just filming to see if we got a fuel spray out of the Tibby there, and dang thing fired off. So I guess it's got fuel, and she's getting spark, apparently. So I think now I have to put on sparkulator wires, might as well throw in some plugs. These wires are shot. I mean, it's gonna run on 2 cylinders at best. So to give it the best fighting chance, I better throw 30 bucks at it, I guess. Dang it. Guys back from the parts store. Gonna be running the ramen noodle diet for a while, but we all do that.
They didn't have lightning hoses, so I'm going to do the right thing and run my really expensive Moroso wires that are for independence. I'll just take 4 of them and save the rest for later. Got the lightning whirler off, and sure enough, heavily corroded down there. That's just from moisture and stuff. I'll get in there with a little file, scrape on them, and then psst, psst. Also, the coil lead is really rotted. I gotta figure out how to get a little wire brush in there or something, or a toothbrush. Clean that up, and then we'll get to replacing wires. Here's the coil wire, and I'm not even sure how that was shooting lightning through it at all, but that's good news. Should hopefully just pop right off and sit there and idle if we get all this dialed in. I did get an oil filter and some oil too, so if it idles for a second, I'll shut her back down and then we'll drop the oil. Turbulence. Started on the hoses, switched over to the sparkulators. 2 came out just fine. They look halfway decent-ish, golden brown. 1 snapped the porcelain, no big deal. But the first one snapped the nut part of the spark plug off. The entire porcelain core came out as a piece. And then of course, the thread part is just stuck in the head down there. So now I get to dig around for an easy out that I'm not gonna have, and then fart around with this for the next 5 hours and basically get nothing done. Great. Things are just not going the way a guy wants at all. I'm gonna throw some heat on this thing and see what happens. Got an easy out stuck in there now. I don't know. You just keep going until stuff gets red and starts. If that don't do something, come on now. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. Ugh. Why don't you want to leave? I've just never seen such a thing. Ugh. Did it come out? Oh, got it. Oh. Guy's gonna let her cool down because it's 7,914 degrees Celsius. Pretty sure I've warped the head, but that's fine. Here's what a guy was fighting on. I'm glad this came out. That was about to get ugly. I gotta let her cool down just a titch. I mean, she's piping hot. Next step would have been come in with the chisel and get a corner of this just bent in. Try to get a needle nose in there. Or if you're really good with a lightning scissor, you can a little slit on the top, get some relief in it, then try your easy out again, but you got to be really careful. And then you also got to chase your threads down again if you get in there with the lightning scissors or gas axe. Here's why a guy should actually check his gaps. I always joke, but take a look at them. This is straight out of the box. That's closed completely. That one's significantly bent. This one's got a gap, but it's bent. And that one's bent and too closed. So literally 4 of 4, same box. They're junk. Gotta gap them all. Hoses are in. Certainly not ideal the way I had to route these. Supposed to have a straight boot. I ended up with 90s. If it runs good enough, I'll come back and replace that. Probably not. Back here on the coil, I hit her with a brass wire brush and just dug on her with a screwdriver. Hit it with some brake rejuvenation spray. It's fairly clean. These are the old lightning hoses here, and they're literally halfway eaten through some of these. I'm not even sure how it fired. This one is completely destroyed. But you can have a mouse nibble like that on the bottom side of your wire or something like that on a rig you've had sitting a while, and your lightning's escaping and you might not even realize it. So if you got a mess, make sure you pull your hoses out here and just go down them little by little and look for any cracks or bites or anything like that. And you got to replace on them, guys. Well, I think we're back in a position here. As soon as that dries, I'll put the coil wire on, crank the key again, see if this thing will sit here and idle. Well, let's just crank on her and see what happens. Hey, she's alive. I don't know why it's idling at 3,000 RPM, but I don't want to run it any longer on this oil. It's 16, 18. I don't know. It's old oil is what I'm saying. Got some valve train noise, but that might come out of it. Wasn't smoking a ton. Sounds pretty good. I mean, she's banging on all four in there, sounds like. I'm going to drop this oil out, get some fresh stuff in there, and then we'll fire it up again. I'm hoping that idle kind of settles down. Might just have to figure out what temperature she's running at. But it runs. 16 years. Poor thing had a fram in her. Was putting the new filter in, had the tibia in my teeth. Figured out my high idle issue. I don't know why I wasn't thinking of it earlier, but we've got severe vacuum leaks, and this little boop, 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 beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop is not plugged in. That's gonna do it. Once I get all that plugged down, she should bring down the ripums. All right, let's drop this oil, see what it looks like. Not a lot in the filter, to be honest. We'll dump this out quick, see what we got. Just your typical bad oil. No milkshake, nothing shiny. That's good. Diesel pero uso pasado, $15.40. What I'm saying is, it was on sale for 11 bucks. She's diesel oil. Gotta run that in the older units. If you don't want to pay the big bucks for the name brand stuff, diesel oil works good. She's got all the vitamins and zinc and whatever else you need. I don't know how much it's gonna take, so we're just gonna go with all of it. I like that it looks significantly used. Right out of the jug new. There's just too many hoses and what have yous. No one knows what any of this stuff does. Guess that one pokes into there. Sure. Something like that. Heat riser thingy. And I gotta get the beep boop boop boop. Here's the beep boop boop boop. That goes in here. That's important. Maybe to plug off this vacuum leak. Yeah, there we go. Slide in there. That clips into that. I think this plug relates into this thing. Sure. There we go. Pretty sure that's just a normally open switch, and when it sees vacuum, she goes closed. That just sits wonky like that, I guess. I don't know. This thing surely plugs into that. Something like this. Ooh. If you've been watching the channel a while, this will bottle your mind up. Brand new air filtration system. Also, this hood propagator is just right in the way. It's fine. I could move over here, but that just seems like too much work. I think the guy's got everything back together where she needs to be. I even topped off the clutch cylinder here, and by topped off I meant overfill it and just spill stuff everywhere. Didn't want to run that dry, starting it, pushing the clutch down. It could be a pain bleeding on those. So let's twist her off again, see if that idle settles down now that everything's plugged in. Get some coolant in it. See if that thermostat opens, probably not. And then see how many leaks we got. Let's light her off again. Oh, floor's a little rotten. Bring this on there. Valve train noise. I'm thinking it's going to be sticky lifters. I'm going to let it heat up and see what happens. Oh, she came down from high idle. It just came down off the high idle, but now I've got a water pump noise starting. I also still have that valve train noise. Hoping this opens soon. Been about 5 minutes. Thermostat's not open. I'm hoping that's a lifter, it kind of sounds like it's still clanking. Gonna wait for it to get nice and hot before I start tuning on it. Doesn't have a lot of blow-by. Actually, much at all. No blue smoke back here. It's a little smoky, but not as bad as I expected, honestly. Sounds pretty good, actually. I'll come back to you when the thermostat opens up, and then we can see how the head gasket held in there and if it's going to cool itself. There's about a 87.43% chance that thermostat is stuck. Great. Hit the brake pedal, felt it pop. Something in that junction there. Sprayed it all the way over there, leaking on the floor. Dang it. I don't know what it is, but I can never have brakes, I guess. Guy's a little surprised, but not too surprised. Just a tablespoon surprised. She runs really good. I mean, it's smooth. You hold it about 2,000, 2,500 grip them, and she doesn't even shake. Guy could probably balance a nickel on that valve cover. I mean, if I even had one. But anyway, thermostat eventually did open up. Nothing to cheer for. I mean, it was just barely flowing, but good enough. Of course, when I hit the brake pedal on accident instead of the clutch, completely destroyed the brake lines. I mean, it looked like Yellowstone Park, basically, with brake fluid. That's fine. Used to it. Time to see if she'll fire back up, and then it's time to give it a proper tune-up. I got a can of Berryman's, and we're just going to jam it right down the yap. And that'll clean up the combustion chamber, the valves a little bit, and if there's some sticky rings, that's going to bring them right back around. No idiot lights on, just the brake light, but too much. She'll come back. She's tuned. Virtually no shake on this thing. Well, she's rougher than a tiger's tongue on the inside and outside and underneath, but boy does she run, by golly. Pretty good sounding pickup, actually. That's all the time I've got for today. On the next episode, let's see if we can get this thing to just scoot down the road and drive around a little bit. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.